Hello, Dr. Grind, Godfather, HR3, come to the studio, please. It's time to go live.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Broadcasting from North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, this is TGD Today. And now please welcome Heroy III,
HR3,
Al Cloyd,
Dr. Grind,
George Honeycutt,
The Godfather.
And hello, everyone. Welcome to TGD Today. This is Pro Golf Talk Live with Hugh Roy III and George Honeycutt. We're so glad to have you join us here from all over the world, and we're going to catch you up on what's happening on the Pro Tours as we speak. And right now, the European Tour is just finishing day one, the first round of the Abu Dhabi HSBC Golf Championship in Abu Dhabi Golf Course in the United Arab Emirates. Hugh, one of my favorite courses, bud.
I tell you, it's a beauty to look at on television.
It's just hard to believe what they're able to build that oasis out in the middle of that sandbox.
Oh, I know.
You know?
But it's gorgeous.
It is pretty, and it's a great golf course. They've let the rough is not as high this year as it has been. They cut it a little bit, but interestingly, the ball is settling much more this year than it ever has in the past during this event.
And probably because it's not as thick, it's a little more, I don't want to say sparse, but it's just not as thick. So
Right.
the ball settles more down into the root.
It's going all the way to the bottom, and it's causing havoc for many of these guys because they're getting a little wayward with their drives, and especially a few notable names have been spraying it a little bit, Justin Rose in particular. And it's come up and bit him several times today.
Well, I mean, the thing about it is when the ball settles like that, George, and if you can get it out and you can get a shot, you're not going to control it because it's jumping out. It's going to knuckle coming out. You're not be able to control what it's going to do.
And that's exactly what's happening. They're not able to really play for a reasonable yardage that they're going to get when the club face, hits the ball. They're either catching grass in between the club and the ball and getting flyers, or they're either coming up short because it's really shutting down the hosel as they're getting to it. And so basically they're having to play pitch outs and then try to recover. So, but I got to tell you, Martin Keimer has found the formula, the Desert Fox himself. We saw what he did at Pinehurst number 2, and which is, after the Core Crenshaw remodel, let's say, that, made all those waste areas. He seems to love a course that's framed by the massive amounts of sand and waste areas. He just stays away from it.
More of a link style type situation. And then from what I saw, a lot of the pins are in the right side of the green, so he can hit that cut he likes to hit.
The little cutter.
And he's playing solid. He's basically sticking to his game plan, George, and going point A to point B.
Well, for a few weeks layoff, of course, we're also glad to see back for the first tournament of 2015 is Rory McIlroy, world number 1. And he has a good day. He finishes at 5 under par, but Martin Keimer shoots 8 under 64 for his first round at the HSBC. And, that's with 10 birdies on day one.
Yeah.
I mean, that's rolling the ball.
That's impressive.
Yeah. Not so much as even hitting greens in regulation, but just rolling the rock. It's good to see. I mean, not all the guys had the touch. Rory's short game really looked good this morning. I watched his round in entirety. Of course, got up at 3 o'clock to do so.
Yeah, that's a personal problem.
I know. But, again, Rory, his driver really did not look crisp today. Several holes, it got him in trouble. And he really had to lean on the short game to get him back into some numbers. Mm-hmm. So, actually, 5 under par was quite successful of a day for him to finish at that number because it easily could have been hovering around even to 2 under. And just considering the way he was hitting the driver. And, again, as I talked about with Justin Rose, he likewise are having troubles with his driver, but he was not really able to get anything going on the greens with the flat stick, or even the short game was letting him down on several occasions, and so thusly he just could never recover. Ricky Fowler's playing the event. He's tied for 8th right now, also at 5 under par. Robert Carlson's at 5 under. Alex Noren's at 5 under. Brandon Grace continuing his good play for 2015. He's at 6 under par. Mikko Ilonen, I watched him for about 9 holes, and I thought this guy was going to shoot 56.
Yeah.
I mean, he just looked that good, dude. I mean, he was hitting everything. Fairways, greens. He was knocking in putts. It really, really looked good. He looked good. He looked like in mid-year form. Alexander Levy is at 6 under par. And Thomas Peters from Belgium, he is at 7 under par. He just goes out and just quietly, no camera on him. You know, they showed him twice, I think, because he was just literally posting a number that it was – at the time, Martin was just getting his round going, so he had not gone to that deep yet. And so for Thomas Peters, he was coming into the clubhouse in the lead by 2 shots. And so he was really setting the mark. And then here comes Keimer. You know, the mad German just come out of nowhere like Bernhard Langer and just started taking over.
Guy can golf his balls, no question about it.
Well, you know, there's been 29 rounds for Keimer under par during his at Abu Dhabi. So, you know, the boy just knows how to play there. 8 birdies and a 65 for Thomas Peters, who's alone right now in second place. There are 23 players within 4 shots of the lead. So, again, first day, this is really up in the air for everybody. But it was just good to see these numbers. You know, it was good to see McIlroy come back again, shooting a 67 on the first round in 2015. That's good for him. Ricky Fowler, of course, Ricky has played recently, but, you know, Ricky making the transitional from, you know, Hawaii, then going over there to Abu Dhabi. So he's been doing some traveling, getting some air
jet
miles.
lag can play some,
Yeah.
have some havoc on you if you're not careful.
So it's good to see the tournament. I always enjoy the tournament, Hugh. It's a lot of fun to watch. You know, they had a couple of notable hole-in-ones today. Interestingly, Tom Lewis holed out on the par 3 7th hole with a 7-iron. He won a new Cadillac Escalade worth about $90,000.
That's too bad.
So, and then coming up right behind him, Miguel Angel Jimenez makes a hole-in-one on this 174-yard par 3, likewise with a 7-iron, and he gets nothing.
He gets nothing. And then you got Reimer up here on the Golf Channel trying to imitate his dance, which we could have done without. Because Jimenez, as he went to the green, did a little dance. And,
Oh yeah,
you know,
actually, it was quite entertaining.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
I'm glad you did.
He also on the tee box celebrating his hole-in-one. Took the hat off, took the glasses off, and then, you know, gave a little kiss to the camera, and so it's just fun to watch. You know, he's with Charles Schwartzel, and Jimenez had to go back and wake up Charles. You know, Charles was taking a little nap between shots, so, you know, to do a high five. But it's fun watching Angel and his emotional reactions to a great shot like a hole-in-one, and then to some of his other shots which aren't so great, and then how he beats on himself and hits himself with the putter and all that. So he's just such a flamboyant player, and I always enjoy watching him and following him in these types of events. And you know, again, Henrik Stenson comes out and shoots 4 over 76. So I don't know if the time off really hit him hard or what. But again, we missed him at Kapalua.
Yeah.
And, you know, maybe he should have played. Who knows?
Well, maybe it's just rust, and it's just a matter of getting back into the groove and get going. You never know. I mean, he could have the jet lag may still be there. It may have affected him different now than it has in the past. He may have, you know, have some kind of bug. You don't know.
Right. Well, you look at McIlroy, you look at Fowler, all these names that are up on the leaderboard. At Henrik Stenson, you would expect to have been up there. But now Martin Keimer coming out day one, taking the quote-unquote German approach and saying we're going to go to the front and you just try to come catch us. Again, the Bernhard Langer theory of golf. So, you know, who knows? Maybe he holds it together for 4 days and nobody catches him. Who knows?
But got 3 more days to watch him and see.
Well, if he shoots 8 under every day, You know, nice 32 under par. I don't imagine anybody's going to be up there with him.
No,
so
that won't get caught. No.
Also going on in the pro golf world this week, of course, in the world of golf is everybody, the 34 players that left Kapalua have now jumped on a plane. They've flown over to Honolulu, and they are now at Waialae Country Club. You and I both know it well. I've played there 20, 25 times.
One of the most private clubs in the Hawaiian Islands.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun to play. It's very much, I've talked about this on the air before, Hugh. If you didn't know you were in Honolulu, if you weren't able to walk out of the hotel, look up to your left and see Diamond Head, you would think you were probably at a Florida golf course, you know, at some retirement community, and you just look out and here's a golf course laid out on about 60 acres.
Yep, and you got the wall that goes around it, you know, with the houses with the terracotta tile roofs and all that. So but it is a very good golf course, and it's a golf course where length does not matter.
Well, you know, it doesn't matter because in the fact that there are several fairways that are very tight, and the grasses that they have in the rough areas, seem to really hinder your club head as it comes through.
It does, and you've also you have a lot of trees, and you have a lot of palm trees around that golf course that come into play if you hit it slightly offline or you hit it in the wrong side of the fairway.
And interesting, the way the Waialae is laid out is the holes that have some length to them, there's a couple of healthy par fours out there. Don't get me wrong.
Well, they've changed number 1 from a par 5 to a par 4, and they lengthened number 2 where we used to hit, you know, basically a 2-iron, 1-iron off the tee, you know, an 8-iron to the green, to where they backed it up 100 yards back there, to where you have to, and it's not very wide.
And that was creative, dude, because there was not 100 yards to add there. I mean, I can't tell you the number of times I've been on that property.
It's back near the third green.
Yeah, that's right.
But it's back there.
It's snuggling.
And where
that
they make you drive the ball too or hit the ball too, it is tighter than Richard's hat band. Now there ain't no question about it. You either hit the fairway, you're in the lake, or you're out of bounds.
Right.
You know, and then you go and you go around, you keep playing, and then you think, okay, good. And they backed up 5. You know, you come off of number 4, the par 3, which is 225 yards. You know, that crazy green, the deep bunkers, and then you go to 5. They back that one up. So now they've lengthened this golf course, but it's not demanding. I got to hit driver now.
Right.
You're still playing the same way around this part.
We've seen in the past the likes of like Davis Love III. We've seen Brent Snedeker. We've seen Crady Couples. We've seen players go out with 3 woods effectively and you know, score tremendously well, 20 under par, and win this event. And you know, now you see the new blood, the new schools. You know, your Jordan Spieth, your Jimmy Walker defending again, that can go out there also with 3 woods now, even with the added length, and again, you know, post some very, very respectable numbers. What I was going to bring up is even the shorter holes, though, that's where they get you with the undulated greens.
Yes.
Several of the greens are kind of flat, mundane. A couple of them are crowned. But, however, on the shorter holes, they really penalize you if you don't have your ball in the right pin position, if you don't have it on the right place on the green.
Yes.
You basically get defensive, and you start trying to make sure that you only 2-putt and not put a 3-jack on it. So Waialae is that type of golf course where if you look at it, if you're actually walking out there as a spectator, you go, okay, you know, what's up with this? I don't really see the vast ravines and the drop-offs like we saw at Kapalua. You don't see the elevation change like you see at Kapalua. You know, you just deal with the wind coming in off the water, which 17 and 18 very much play into that, just like number 9 does going into the green. You don't feel the wind because the trees block it beside the hotel, and the hotel itself blocks the wind. But then when you actually get up there, you go, whoa, there's 8 knots of wind there I didn't even feel.
Oh, yeah, and, you know, everybody looks at 17, and, you know, they would think, well, it's only 160, 70
Yeah,
yards.
yeah.
And, you know, the pin, it's left, but these guys ought to be – you can't turn it unless you started at that pin and turn it up into that wind, which if you miss the green left, it can easily jump that wall and go out of bounds.
Well, it can, or be in that front left bunker.
And you're dead.
That is not fun.
You're dead.
Yeah.
And then 18, everybody thinks, well, it's a reachable par 5 because they couldn't back it up. They make it out of bounds going down number 10 that way.
Right.
So, you know, you're trying turn it from right to left to get it around that corner.
Right.
And the wind's blowing down and left to right.
And years ago, when you were there and I was there, years ago, now I could never do this because I've never been the long ball hitter like you have and the other pros have, but you could take it over the palm trees. There was years ago you could just line up over the palm trees and cut that corner.
Well, the palm trees have grown.
Yeah, you can't do it now.
And the fact is, they brought that out of bounds more
More
on the
into that, yeah.
the inside part of those trees on the 10th fairway, 10th green side.
Right.
If you miss, you're out of bounds. Now you're really screwing up a automatic birdie hole.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a hole right there where you hit 3-wood down there.
And
you
plus, if you get it over the you'll see a bunker on the left side of the dog leg.
Mm-hmm.
And the players kind of aim down the tree line over that bunker and expect it to go over the bunker, stay in the fairway, which most of them won't, especially if they
it
hit
runs
driver.
through, and if it runs through, that
There
rough
you
is
go.
thick.
There you go.
It's thick.
That's what I'm
And that's why you see a lot of guys on 18 hit 3-woods.
Yeah.
Because you can put it in the fairway. Now, you may have to hit another 3-wood to the green.
Sure. You're going to be 250
But
away.
guess what? You're
Yeah.
in the short grass. You got a chance.
And that is a relatively small green on 18 coming into it.
And you can run the ball in there.
Yep. They've narrowed down the neck, enabling you to run it in there. But again, if you miss it a little short left, you've got a little bunker to deal with. If you miss it right, then they've let the gruff grow. And again, you got a reasonable chip, but there's no guarantee you're going to be able to stop it because more than likely there's going to be a lot of grass between your club and the ball chipping up.
And it used to be a par 72, George. Now it's a par 70.
Right.
So, they turned 13 into a par 4. Now, that is a beast.
Oh, yeah. That's a hole. That's a golf hole.
That's a hole right there. If you don't hit it in the left side of the fairway, you can't see the
And
green.
reasonably, they could have taken 9, what is to the members 18. Because remember, folks, this is one of those courses. This is one of those courses that the front 9 and the back 9 for the members, they flop them for the tournament. So number 9 has always been a par 5 and remains a par 5 even for the PGA Tour. But however, respectively, I mean, I've hit driver, in my day, driver 4-iron to this thing. And so it's very reachable. But then again, the green is such a smallish size. And you've got that little bunker on the left-hand side that kind of cuts in the front quarter of it.
That's where everybody goes anyway because you've got the range on the left that's out of bounds, and then you got the driveway coming into the club on the right.
Well,
with
you
the
got
ditch.
that road. You got that road
That's
and the
what I'm
houses
saying.
on the right,
That's out of
and the
bounds.
fence line.
This
so,
golf course is a lot tighter than what people think.
Yeah, and so that adds into the intrigue and watching it and watching these guys play it. Keep that in mind, that it's not just another resort Florida golf course or a retirement course in Florida.
This golf course
has got
tough.
some
Now,
meat to
They shoot some
it.
low scores on it,
Yeah.
but I'm telling you, it is not easy.
But they have to stay focused and hit every
Yes.
shot. So we could go into the tee times, but I think we'll skip that. Jill, needless to say, you've got a full field event. This is the first full field event for 2015. So this is, of course, the continuation of the wraparound season. But we're going to see the likes of Paul Casey, Paul Coitos, John Huh, Mark Wilson, Jonathan Vegas, Kenny Perry's back out playing, Charles Howell. And again, starting next week, we've got the Champions Tour over in Hawaii. And then right after that, we've got the ladies cranking back up again. So a lot of golf to talk about, Hugh, on Pro Golf Talk Live coming up over the next several weeks. So looking forward to it.
Absolutely. And just watch the folks that this week don't look at so much the big hitters. Look at the guys that can play from point A to point B to point C.
Watch the dinks and dunks.
That's exactly right.
All right. Be sure to remember that, listening that from HR3. TGD Radio and TV are produced and broadcast by the Zeus Radio Network for thegolfdirector.com. When visiting the Golf Director site, please be sure to navigate over to our golf course pages where you'll find up-to-date information, course conditions, specials, and much more. Need help with any next golf vacation or just a vacation itself? Give us a call at 844-GO-GOLF-1. Ask for Dave at 844-464-6531. All of our programming is archived for listening and viewing on demand. To catch up on any show you may have missed, click on the TGD Radio or the TGD TV tabs in the menu screen at thegolfdirector.com. For HR3, I'm George Honeycutt. Thanks so much for joining Jeff behind the glass and for tuning in. There's more TGD golf news and information coming up for you next.